Hello guys and welcome to episode 12 of our vanilla Cities Skylines Let's Play. Last episode we built this little suburb which is coming along really nicely now. There's lots of houses starting to upgrade. We've just placed this cemetery down here at the moment. And traffic seems to be flowing relatively well. We had a little bit of difficulty around here last episode. And I've just built this little road down here. That just helps traffic flow a little bit better. We deleted a connection here so there isn't too many intersections along this main road. And there's a lot of people coming and going through this area using the metro now. 365 passengers this week, which is really good. And this little walkway is also getting some usage as well. And I'd also just like to say, before we kick off this episode, we're up to 9 subscribers now, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. And I hope you're enjoying this series. And we actually had a comment last episode from a guy called, I've got his name here, it's Ever24. And he had some suggestions of what we can do with the city. We mentioned putting perhaps some water sports along the river here. Whether you would really have water sports on a river, I'm not entirely sure. You don't really have them in rivers in England, not that I'm aware of at least. But maybe in other parts of the world we do. And he had an idea of bringing down a little road here just along this pathway to maybe put some water sports down. So we'll have a look at that. I think there's some stuff under the tourism and leisure that we can put down here. So what do we have to use? A fishing pier might be quite a good idea. Let's see if we can pop this down. And of course he does need his own road connection, so maybe might have to actually delete this road and the houses along it. These guys are pretty much brand new anyway, so it's not too much of an issue. And then let's go free for all on our road. And then that should connect in. Yeah, it does. Okay, and then we'll follow the quayside all the way along here and up to there. And this should allow us to put some extra stuff down. Okay, what else do we have? Fishing tours on a river doesn't really make sense. I suppose you could have jet ski rental. A marina for sure. Let's have this along here. A restaurant pier, that sounds quite good. Let's maybe just put this a little further down. And there's a beach volleyball court, riding stable and all that other stuff. Okay, so it kind of looks a little bit odd just out here by itself, so maybe let's try and create a little bit of a park area here is where people would walk down to this area. That might make it look a little more realistic, and we'll bend this path up and around these rocks. And we'll have one coming up to this junction here. That's not too steep, is it? No, that's okay. And then we'll have this guy follow this bend down here. And then this is going to look super weird with a path coming down, isn't it? Yeah, that's way too steep. If I can delete that. Let's actually go for a little bit of elevation here. Let's go for the lower one. Yeah, that doesn't look right either. Let's try that again. It's not really connecting right, is it? Maybe let's try that from the other side. So we'll come up from the road here. Yeah, I can't get that to lock in properly, can I? There we go, that looks a little bit better. And then we'll just rebuild this connection down here. There we go. Okay, that was a little bit better. I don't know if... We do have... there's a Chinese palm here. I don't know if palms are a little bit... I don't know, exotic for this area. Let's try them anyway, while it's a beachfront. We'll put kind of a row of them along here. And we'll see how it looks afterwards. This is where you really need the mod for paintbrushing. It's a little bit unlucky, oh not unlucky, unfortunate they haven't put in kind of a click and drag tool for their trees yet. I'll put this along here, make this a little bit of a smart boulevard where people can come and enjoy a little bit of leisure time. And then also, do we have any little... How about botanical gardens down here? Would that go well? No, that's a little bit too big. Large playground maybe? And then we can actually connect these paths up to this one, so we'll do that as well. Let's go back and grab those paths. There we go. And that guy up there. This guy here. And then connect up to there. Okay, let's carry on. Maybe a few rocks as well. Maybe one of the big ones. And how about one of these along here, just to make it, well, it's huge. It looks like that's the smallest one, doesn't it? That's deleted my path. There we go. How about a few bushes as well? Just a few along the little junctions of the path. We can always tidy this up later on. We're just going to throw a whole load of assets down and see how things feel. And how about a few of the tiny rocks as well? We could gate this off. Let's actually do that. I do like a nice bit of fencing. If you've been following the series for a while, you probably realise that I do like my fencing. I can always put that rock back in. So it's kind of like an unofficial park, really. I'll bring this guy down here. And then along the back of these houses should do quite nicely. Okay, so that doesn't look too bad. This guy is complaining of no power though. It's a little bit annoying. We're going to have to drag some power over for him. We'll just plop one there now. So I actually know why we're doing that. Let's just move him up along. We're just creating the issue for ourselves really, aren't we? Let's pop him there. And then we'll see how much traffic this place will get. Maybe we can pop a little bit of commercial down here actually. That might look quite nice. I'll have a big one there. Big one there. A long one there. And we'll see what develops. If it's going to get too busy with traffic, because I've got a strong feeling it might. We might just have to rework this area a little bit. No, not residential. I want residential there, please. Thank you. Okay, so we'll see how that grows. Probably add in a couple more trees as well. Actually, let's do that now while we're here, because I guarantee I will forget to come back and do that. Let's just pop in a few more of these palms, make it look like a little bit of a beachfront kind of exotic resort. I don't know if palms will really work. Again, any suggestions on what type of tree might go well down here, do let me know. Okay, yeah. Doesn't look too bad. It's kind of filled in that empty dead space. And there are people visiting these as well, which is nice to see. Yeah, people going up and down this path. We could actually do a path that links... do need some power here. Just drag that boy down along there. That should serve them. Yeah. We could do like a little path that jumps over this highway. That might look quite nice. Yeah, let's do that now. We'll switch to the concrete path. We'll go straight and put our grid lines back on as well. Or will that break the... will that break the connection? Let's try that. Yeah, it will, so people can't cross from this side. Although we could just drag that connection up there. Yeah, let's do that. I'll show you what I'm going for in a moment. Just let me try and get this bridge across. See, let's have a look at that. And this goes up way too high. That should work relatively nicely. And then if we can bring this guy down. couple of steps over here. And then let's take off our snapping tool now. And then bring this guy down to ground level. Okay, so we'll see how many people use that, and then just to reconnect this part of the road, we'll bring in our section there, which reconnects people up, and then we'll just replace that fencing that we've just lost to about there. And then a little bit in here as well. Okay, so we'll see if people use that. Oh, yeah, there's one person now. He's on his bike. And also another comment from Eva. Again, thank you very much for leaving your suggestions in the comments again, by the way. Really super appreciated. He also suggested that we add some bike paths through the city. And I was thinking maybe we could do almost like a bike highway. That's really tall, isn't it? I'm not too sure how I feel about that. We'll see if it turns out useful. I mean, there are people using it, I guess. So maybe we could do that as well, and I'm hoping this episode as well we'll also start our downtown area as well, at least the start of the road for it, because I've been promising that for a long time now, and I continue yet and again to not deliver. Okay, so we do have a bike pathway here. I'm not sure if I ever shown this off on camera. I think I did back in like maybe episode 9. But we can actually draw a connection in here, so along this zebra crossing we'll draw up a little path. Maybe about 2 high around there, and that should allow us to cross the canal. Yeah, just about. So it doesn't look too bad, does it? And then let's bring on a bit of a curve down here, and then connect that up there. So they can come and go through that cycle lane. And then we'll also do another one as well. So I kind of want these to connect different parts of the city. I don't know if here would be a sensible option for one. I don't know if this is too big a distance for Sims to recognise as kind of like a viable route to the other side of town. But we'll try it anyway. We'll cross the highway here. No, we won't, because that's too short. Let's try that again. Let's bring up 1 there. And then by 1 over here. There we go, we can cross the highway now. And then over there. And then bring it down by 2 there. And then 1 there. And then we'll see if we can line this up straight. There we go. So this kind of this allows us to fill in this little bit of empty space that we've got here as well. I think eventually we'll probably fill this in with housing as an extension of this estate, and then allow people to kind of populate this area, maybe another little mini town, because we've got quite a lot of room around here that we can utilise. And just to try and encourage that biking, we're going to go ahead and upgrade these guys here with cycle lanes to get them. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to delete your houses, but you know, oh well. Yeah, okay, so that just gives them a little bit more reason to cycle around. So this is a cycle road now, and they can come back and 2 between the other sides of town, which will hopefully avoid them taking cars and clogging up the highway. How are we doing this? Yeah, these guys really aren't happy. We have huge residential demand at the moment, but nowhere really to fill it out for. Though I suppose we could pop in. Yeah, let's do that now while we've got that demand, because we are starting to drop in population. Let's bring these guys down here. And then we could just maybe do a little cul-de-sac up here. And then we'll do some paths and walking routes through there and whatnot. Should look quite nice. And then we'll just start expanding into this little, I mean it's not massive, but we have a little region here where we can put some of our residences. Okay, fill all these guys in. They shouldn't complain too much of noise, because this is a green, renewable commercial area, yeah, and there's literally 0 noise pollution coming from there. And then while we're here as well, we'll also pop in some of those dirt paths that we are so fond of. Let me pop off my grid lock in. There we go, there's one. Let's do another one right through here as well. There we go. And then maybe one more comes up through here, there, and then there. And then we'll also make these guys residential as well. Very nice. So that should also hopefully give some of these guys, because a lot of them are abandoning their stations, but a lot of this industrial estate should resolve itself. We'll see what goes on, although a lot of them are abandoning, but I'm sure it won't be an issue in the long run. Okay, I also saw as I loaded the game up, there was a little bit of traffic starting to build up here. Yeah, here it is. Maybe this road needs to be a double lane, because at the minute it's not really coping too well. Let's go ahead and upgrade it. Like, those kind of single lanes do look nice with the trees through the middle, but they're not the best at handling traffic. Everyone's trying to merge into this lane, aren't they, to turn left. Look how many people are using this subway stop now, 330. And a lot of them grabbing the tram as well, which is awesome to see. This part of town's turned out really nicely. I'm quite fond of this bit now. It's a little bit busier than I anticipated it to be, but... And then it will also, when we unlock this tile here, it will expand out, and then I want to do some farming here as well. But we're a couple of milestones away from that just yet. But we are now at 1.1 million on our money, which is a perfect time for me to start expanding into our downtown, I think. So let's finally get on with that. And we'll start off with a highway. Now, I kind of just want this highway to merge into the city itself rather than coming to an abrupt halt. So what I'm hoping to do is, if we draw this out, I'm going to put my clicking back on for this. Let's draw this out a little bit away from the rail, and then I want this lane to merge into that one, and then we're going to upgrade this into a dual lane highway, or like the big 6-lane road rather. And then I want this guy to come out by, how much room do we have to work with here before we hit the coast? There's not that much room. Let's go out by another 3. And then I want to build a 2-way in the same direction. That's the one that we want. Okay. Let's come out by 10. And we'll see how this looks. So I kind of want this to be a big highway, maybe even 3-lane with sound barriers. Would be more appropriate for this kind of higher end downtown area. Okay, so we really want to plan out what we're going to be doing with our city. So we're going to have a big transport hub in the city, obviously. And then we'll have 3 main 6-lane connections that allow people to disperse throughout the city. And I think as this side is going to be our kind of tourism and business focused district, whereas this will be a little bit more industrial and our harbour, I want to kind of have our transport hub in this side of town. So we're going to draw this guy all the way down here, and that gives us a base to start setting some things off from that. Let's bring it as up to the edge as we can. Yeah, we've still got enough room to go through there as well. Okay, so I'm just going to try and wing this. Let's try and bring in, let's keep those first 20 or 15 blocks or so clear. And then we'll downgrade into a 2-way road up here. And then I think we'll build our transport hub here. This seems a fairly sensible place to do so. Let's see what type of roads do we have. I do want to insert monorail tracks into this as well. So maybe around here. So let's pop back to this road here. And then we'll have our transport hub here. So let's go into our train. Do we want the multi-platform end, or do we want... Maybe we do want that one. Although if we do, it's going to have to be facing the other way. So yeah, let's delete this little bit of road here and move this up a little bit. I don't want this to be too cramped in because there'll be a lot of traffic and people passing through here. Let's bring that up. And then this guy up here as well. And then we'll have our big train platform that sits in front like this. And how's that looking? Actually no, we want the other one. This is the one that we want. Okay, so that's bang in the middle. We've got 2 squares for either side of that. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is just draw out our lanes. Or, not lanes, you know what I mean. Our train lines here. Okay, and that gives us a little bit of an idea of what we're going to go off. I think we'll probably delete this and make this a bridge over the railways. Let's bring these guys down. And then we'll have this one head off in a bit of a curve over that way. That guy will connect, won't it? Yeah, it will. And then we'll bring this guy back up to here as well. And then bring it down in a big curve off in this direction. About there. I'm not sure about that one. We'll see how trains flow into the area. Not entirely sure how effective that is. I'm not used to building these enormous train stations. But we can certainly see. How about if we try and grab a rail line just here? Can we connect at that angle? No, it's way too close together, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, well, we'll see how that goes. If it becomes a problem, then we'll just try and rearrange it so it isn't. So I want to grab some monorail now. What kind of monorail stations do we have? So we got one with road. There's a bus hub as well, which might be quite nice. There's also a train hub as well. Oh, and we hit Grand City. Wonderful. It's a lot of third lane, solar power plant and a baseball park. Very nice. Or do we want the train hub? The train hub would be really nice to have. But no. I think we're going to connect it with our bus hub. But what I want to do is build something similar to what we built over in our kind of other density. What's this? We have our Frenwood Tech academic year report. We've got 9 academic works now, some more students, and we're renowned as well, which is really good. So that campus is coming along really well. And we'll be building our central university campus around here somewhere, possibly in this square here. Might be quite a nice place to drop it. Okay, so I want this place to come out down here. And then let's make it about 15. And then let's bring it back up here. And let's just get that level with that road. There we go. And then the buses can come and go in and out of there. Okay, so we'll have people stop here. And then we'll bring them up here. So this will just function as a way to get buses flowing around the city. So they don't all cram into this small square here. They can come in and around. Let's change that direction. And then we'll also have one coming up here as well from about there. So there'll be a lot of buses coming in around this route, and they'll be able to use this bit of campus, if you like. I don't know what the word is. Well, it's a little mini one-way network, isn't it? And they'll be able to come and go and drop people off here who can then spread further afield into our transport hub. Okay, so that's 600. And then from here, it's 1,200. There we go. And then we're also going to put our monorail bus hub here as well. Is there a place I can put this? I can put it on the corners, can't we? But I don't really want to do that. Okay, maybe we can put this here actually. How does that look? Okay, let's go ahead and try and delete some of these trees because these really aren't in an appropriate place. May end up putting some plazas in here as well. Okay, so the reason why I'm building this transport hub first is just to make room for it, because they can end up being quite big networks when they're finished. And I want to make sure I don't cram in a load of skyscrapers and whatnot before we actually end up finishing this thing. Maybe we can get a plaza down here as well, maybe one of the unique statues. Statue of Wealth. Lazaret Plaza might look quite nice. Let's put this opposite our train station, might look quite good. Okay, not really sure what that's supposed to represent, but to start, so you can see how this will eventually come together. Yep, you can play with no power and water, we are fully aware of that. And then what other transport options do we have? We can maybe build a metro centre around here. Have a couple of metro stops. No, we can't get that in, so maybe let's... So these will serve two different lines, is what I'm thinking for these. And then we'll plop that one there. And then we'll give these guys a place to connect. So this will be... let's bring this down here. And then let's get a big free curve on. And then connect it up to this one. So that line will serve this side of town, and then people can interchange and come around here. And then this road here is going to be our... can come out to about here. And then they'll curve off in this direction. And then this will eventually serve our industrial hub and rest of the city as well. So people can come and go as they please around there. Again, let's just delete these trees in the middle. And then we'll fill this out with parks and plazas and whatnot and little different bits of decoration. I'm not actually sure I like how big that gap is. Let's try and rebuild that a tiny bit. How about there? What room does that give us? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Okay, delete that bit, and then we'll just bring this guy around and out again. Okay. Super. This could possibly do with being a 6-lane in second thought. And then we'll knock this road down into a double lane and start to bring him up over our tracks. Awesome, so he can just about clear them, although he is actually clipping the power lines on the train tracks. Awesome, that looks a little bit better. And then what's this back down to there? 1510. So let's bring it back up to... That was 1,240 and we went down by 1. There we go. And let's bring this back to the ground. Super. And then there can be a road that flows up here, adjacent to our travel section. And then that should allow traffic to flow relatively nicely through this area. Okay, so let's feed these guys with water. We do have a water line coming through here. And then we'll do this as effectively as possible. I will abandon my addiction to doing it road by road, and then these guys can be fed as efficiently as possible. Okay, yeah, now you're just whinging about no power. That's fine, you guys aren't really functioning yet anyway. Okay, so another thing about here is there's a lot of trees, but I'm hoping that as we zone, a lot of that will begin to disappear. Okay, so I think that's all our central transport hub buildings pretty much done. Let's get a couple of taxi ranks in here as well, straight opposite the train station, and one opposite the monorail as well, and maybe one on this side street for the metros. And we won't have a postal service down here. We're not going to have any trams in the city. I really want to kind of factor in the monorail, which is what we'll do here. So for the time being, it does have a road where we can drop people off and use this as our bus hub. Okay, so that's got a nice little gradual ascension. That's nothing too sharp, nothing too serious. This is nice as well, the way they have the bus lanes in there. I think that's quite cool. We'll see how much room we just actually need for those buses. That might be a little bit overkill, but eventually as this becomes like super high density downtown, it will really kind of just work itself out. Okay, so let's start plopping in some grids in here and stuff that we can use. Bring this guy up there. And then we'll have some high density stuff along here as well. I do want to make room, or save room rather, for a park. So maybe actually we could have that closer to the hub here. Maybe here. Maybe let's delete that road that we just made there. I've also put the wrong road in here, haven't I? This needs to be a monorail road. And that guy will continue into the city and beyond. So we'll just leave the arm stretching out for there now. And then maybe let's delete this road as well. Yeah, so let's have this as a park area. We'll zone that out now so we can not forget about that in the future. Let's just paint this in. And then we'll have it all up along here. Super. And then we're going to paint another industry area here. Well, not an industry area, this will be our downtown zoning. So all the office buildings in this area, I want to have the IT specialisation. And then we'll sort out some policies for that in a moment. So let's go ahead and grab some of these posh roads. And then we're going to bring these guys up through here. Not to down there. We'll have this guy come out. And I want almost perfect square grids in here so we can have some fairly uniform looking buildings. And this can serve as almost like a financial district, if you like. Delete that road up to there. There we go. This is what we're after. Awesome. So these little paths that are just cutting through here and not really serving a purpose, we'll start to place in some walkability paths through. Make sure people aren't using cars all the time. And then let's bring that guy. We won't have that one cut through. And then through there. Nope. Through there. Okay, and then we'll have this guy cut all the way along the back. And down into the middle. And then they'll also need water as well, won't they? Again, let's carry on bringing this one right up. And then we'll cover these areas. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll plop in some big boy financial buildings here. You know, they kind of have that financial district look to them, don't they? Come on, grab it. There we go. Okay, and then we'll have these guys that are served with a path all the way down into the transport hub. Okay, so these guys are screaming out for power, so we'll satisfy that need now. Let's bring this guy over, across the street, and then we'll send him over the power lines and here. Again, that's just a temporary line. Yeah, I'll just pick up from there. So it will eventually look a little bit better than that. This guy needs some as well. Okay, and then as well as these guys can have some high density commercial. That'll sit along here. Maybe we can put in a little park in here as well. And then we'll drop some more paths coming through. Just so it's a nice, easier way for people to get through this area, because there's going to be a hell of a lot of people passing through this section. And then we'll draw another one in there as well. That's super annoying. There we go. And he connects up to there. Okay, let's have a look how we're getting on. Yeah, so we're getting some nice big buildings through here now. So there's the start of it. Liking it a lot. Again, we'll do a lot of different specializations in here. Maybe we could actually do that with this one. So these guys are included, and maybe we want the leisure. So you think, you know, you finish work in these big kind of cityscape skyscrapers, and then they're going to head out into the leisure downtown area. And I think we're going to have this whole peninsula here as our tourist district. So we'll paint that out now, so we don't forget, and we'll name it appropriately. There we go. And then we'll make sure that we give this place a tourism specialization, so people can stay in there. Okay, so let's draw in some transport lines. We'll do a bus line first and foremost, I think. Let's put in... So he'll start at the monorail bus hub. We'll plop him down here. And then he's going to head all the way out of town. He'll come through here. Land stop there. There. And then he'll come off the highway. And where do we want to send him? Maybe over to this bus hub here. And we won't make him come through this one because he's on a fairly long journey. So you can stop through there. And then maybe we want to take him through this part of town as well. Yeah, drop a stop in here, and then he can come back down this main road. Stop by the park, and then head back into town. Stop in here. Here. And then he can come back through this area and finish off there. Okay, so let's grab that bus as they come out of the bus depot. Any minute now, there we go, and we'll change his line details. That's what other model bus can we have? I don't really know what the difference is between that one. We'll make him a red city bus. They're kind of like coaches, aren't they, really, as opposed to buses. But that'll do nicely. And then we'll hook up our metro lines as well. That should get some people in. So this guy is serving the district down here. Have that stop in there. And then come back and serve this one. And then this guy at the minute doesn't go anywhere. He's just heading off in that direction for now. Okay, maybe we can pop some more unique buildings in here. How about the transport tower? what does this actually do? Large office building specifically meant for public transport companies. Requirement for building the space elevator. Because it's a little too big to drop in anywhere around here. It would fit in nicely over here, I suppose. And it does fit in perfectly there. So we'll drop that in. All looks a little bit weird now because it's kind of just a sudden change from nice grassy forest to enormous skyscraper, but eventually this area will fill out. Let's have a look at these line details. So there are people starting to use them now at stop 40. People wanting to come into the city, which is great news. And then eventually for this place to actually become functioning, we need to have other train stations in and around the city, which we'll do in a separate episode and sort out our rail network. Okay, this guy's full. Let's have a little bit of maintenance around here. There's crime taking place at the university. What a shock. Crime in a university. Whoever thought of such a thing. I also thought as well that I think we're going to move these buildings as well because they're like really heavily pollutant and they're coming a little bit too close to this side of town for my liking. So what we'll probably do is move all these production buildings over to this side of the highway in this space here, and then leave this little road space here as a storage network for our oil. But we'll have a look at that another time. So there's one thing I wanted to do before we call this episode as quits, and I'm so happy we've managed to start our highway here. It's made me very happy indeed. And what I'm going to do is just bring this guy down here. Let's actually switch it to another road. Let's try that one. And I'll bring this guy down to the highway. And then up alongside this network. And then we'll make something out of this later. That's not going to be the road layout, but just so it's there for my convenience. And then again up here, and you'll see what I'm going for in a moment. Let's bring this guy up. And then again, something similar with a road coming down here. Down to about there. And then up here. So they're not going to be exact road layouts, but you'll see what I'm going for. And then I want some nice country lanes. I'm going to go for a liberal arts one. How's the zoo path look? No, it's too wild. Maybe the city park path will be best. Okay, so we want these guys following up there, and up here. So it's actually not symmetrical. What an idiot. So we've got 2 blocks between that one. There we go. And this guy can come up and around here. And then, not sure why that one isn't connecting. There we go. And of course that disconnects it, not sure why. I want to try and have this symmetrically pleasing as possible. And let's bring this guy down to there. And then up there. Okay. Alright. So I'll try and have this here. There we go. Okay, and then what I want these guys to do now is to come off on a little separate path around here. And then start heading up. And over the highway. So just like that. And then I want to have almost like a walking highway through this city. Let's make sure we get that about right. There we go. Super. And then these guys can come off in their own respective directions. And maybe it's a better idea to connect them there actually. And then we'll delete this one at the bottom. And then over here. There. Okay, so you can see how that will eventually span out along the city. We'll try and keep people walking around this bit as much as possible. And then I want some really grand trees to finish this off. Maybe the redwoods or just the oaks would be a good shout here. Yeah, let's go for that. Try and space them out as evenly as possible. Actually no, let's go for something a little bit more interesting than oak trees. Maybe those palm trees again. How do these look? No, kind of boring. How would the redwoods look? Maybe a little bit grander. I like a little redwood plantation as they come into town. Again, modded is seriously need for this. That paintbrush tool will be amazingly useful right now. Give me mods, said the Vanilla City Skylines Let's Player. Okay, and then these guys can just come off in a little circle and cover the retreat of those paths. So as they come into town they are met with... Maybe we can give them actually... Let me go back to paths for a moment here. Can we connect through here? No, not there. How about here? How about that, just so they can cross over each side of the road? I think that looks pretty nice for a city entrance, so you can imagine... Let's not imagine, let's actually build for once in our lives. Maybe let's pop in some little high-rise apartment blocks here. A little bit of residential. And then not up to that. Let's bring these guys up. And then we'll give them some... Don't want any of these tiny little 2-block houses anywhere. We want big tall skyscrapers here, and then a big block of commercial. I know it's low density, that's what we're going for here. And how about one along here as well? And then here too. Okay, how's this transport area doing? People coming and going, it's good to see. Yeah. So again, people complain they have not enough workers in this district. And then these buildings look super awesome. I really enjoy the IT specialization from, I think it was the Green Cities pack that gave it us. But it just looks so awesome. I'm so happy with it. Like proper skyscrapers. So okay, this area is looking a little bit bare. Maybe we can pop some plazas in and around this district. One either side of the tube. Orchard Meadows. This will be our park eventually, won't it? And then we'll see how things develop. Okay, so some buildings coming in here now. Again, they're all level 1. Let's pop in a police station in the downtown area. Over here should do quite nicely. And then also a big boy fire station as well. This guy can sit on the main road so he has easy access to the roundabout and different areas of the city. So as this guy expands out here, it'll eventually connect with this road here, so you can see where they'll interconnect the more industrial parts of the city. And then we'll probably swing some more buildings, a lot of high density stuff in and around here along the coastline. Let's actually build our monorail along there. I think that should look quite nice. Yep, I wanted to build that. Please build. So people could almost go on like a monorail tour of the city, almost. I think that looks super sweet. I don't know why this guy won't build. There we go. So you can imagine as the monorail is coming along, it'll give you nice views over the coast, and then it'll also actually, can I build an area here? Actually, yeah, let's delete this road because they can still come around. It kind of makes this road a little bit more useful as well. Let's grab one of the monorail tools. Yeah, okay, this is gonna look awesome. And then we'll also have our monorail feed our tourist area as well, so you'll be able to see monorails coming and going over the buses. That'll look super awesome. This side of town is on fire, people are dead and people are leaving while we're focusing on our main downtown. This one's going to hell. There's a lot of buses on this road. Maybe too many if you ask me. Oh well. You can kind of take up the assumption that if you can't see problems in City Skylines, they basically don't exist. Nothing major will happen. But yeah, starting to enjoy this now. Hopefully next episode we'll continue to expand our tourist district. I'm going to have a look at some stuff online and maybe a bit of inspiration as to how people have built their tourism areas. And then from that we'll go ahead and start expanding our park here. Maybe a big city park along this side here. Build some more, probably residential, maybe a touch of commercial, maybe like a nice shopping mall down this way near the tracks. Keep that stuff close to our transport hub. And then also start to join up our industry areas. And how far... I'm pretty sure we've unlocked the cargo hub now, haven't we? No, we're still a fair way off that actually. Up to 48,000 we need. So next episode will be a huge population explosion episode. Filling these areas here and perhaps some of these areas around here as well. So this side of town and the residential area expands up to the highway as it has done on this side. And we'll start ploughing towards that next milestone so we can really start focusing on our cargo hub area on the coast. And also some factories down here as well. Want to start using some of those. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I really do appreciate it. A lot more than you know. 9 subscribers now. Which is really fantastic. A lot more than I ever expected to have this soon into the channel. Again, if you are new and are enjoying this series, you can follow me on Twitch in the description where we stream some Borderlands 2, Xbox and Destiny and other kind of general console gaming content, as well as the odd episode of City Skylines. And you can also find a link in the description to my setup if you are at all interested in what I'm using to make these videos. And you can also find a link to my schedule if you would like to keep up with when and where these episodes are coming out. So thank you for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and please do enjoy the rest of your day.